Hi, welcome back to another Archicad speed modeling tutorial by ASM TechBase. My name is Carsten MD. Join the ASM TechBase email list for newsletters and future updates. Okay, let's get started with the base and the reference image I've got. The base is a very simple, straightforward car park. I did just really model some plates and make sure the cars don't drive over. Bit of a wall there, and this is the one I like now to add our car park design cover, like an aluminium panel cover. Now I've got a reference image I found online, which is actually a metal facade of the Peterson Automotive Museum in LA. So the challenge in Archicad is really the continuous wave around the corners and keep going all around the building. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is obviously the bend at the top. See the corner bends, and it still continues into the corners. Even here it goes, you know, it uses all the bends. So I think those two challenges, I show you how you can solve them in today's tutorial. I will start straight away with the shell. Let me have a look at the sections I've got, or elevation. So that's an elevation, and I just drew a very simple line here and a curve to make sure that's the shape I want to cover my car park with. I would love to draw this right here in elevation, but the shell tool doesn't allow me to do that. So if I click here and click, it just doesn't allow me to draw in here. So I have to go back to my floor plan. So I take this, copy, and we just go back and we paste this in here. Okay, so we paste this in. Make sure when we paste it here, yeah, go a little bit further up. Great, so now here I can draw along the first piece of the shell. That's what I'm doing actually. I'm using the shell tool to create this car park cover. Just straightforward, almost everything is on default. The thickness, I like to add 200 to that one. I've got an aluminium panel material and I put it on 3D shell layer. All right, click OK and use this option here to draw the shell. So I click here, click again, make sure you're exactly where the arc starts. There you go, it's going black. Click again and click again in the same spot. Extrusion length, that's fine for now. I change this anyway in a moment. Okay, and the next step is surely we do curve it that way, and you can see it's looking pretty good already. Let me have a look in 3D. There you go. So that's our first piece of the shell shape. For this tutorial, I like to actually swap the construction line to the outside. So you can just flip it up here. There we go. So that's flipped over. There's a reason for it. I'll show you in a moment. Okay, cool. This now, obviously, I need to rotate. So let me move this just into section 2. So in this case, I can just take this and we rotate now this piece of the shell that way. Okay, and if I go now to the other section, it will turn up there. See? Perfect. Then we move it to the red line we had before. So if I go back here, now that's why I flipped it over. I want to have the construction line along the red line here. Okay, so what we do is now we just extend this. That's this one, and all the way here. All right, then we just mirror a copy. Let's do this here, mirror a copy. Click there, make sure you go 45 degrees or 135. All right, let's have a look. So in 3D, this is what we got at the moment. It looks quite nice apart from the corners. So the next step is we need to reduce them again exactly where this is the blue line. You see where that actually intersects. In this case, if I go now back up, it just has to intersect here with the exact end of that shell, okay? See, there's a black dot. Let me have a quick look in 3D. Yeah, see, that fits perfectly. So you have to do that quickly with all of them. Now to create this curved piece, we draw another shell. And this time we use the revolve option. Let me go here again. I click to the black one here, click again the same spot, and then you click again here, and if you go down, you see it will revolve around. So you go a bit down, make sure it's straight, click again, and now the angle has to be 90 for us, obviously, because that's all we need. So we do 90. Okay, great. So we take this, and again, you have to do the construction line right there. Okay, let me have a look in 3D. Yeah, looking good. So obviously the same thing again, you have to move it in here. And we got this now. Looking good. If you want to have a look quickly in wireframe, that's a very good start now to add our waves or holes of waves. All right, let's go back. Now, how do we do this? It was quite a challenge to actually come up with a solution, but I've got a solution. So let me select all the shells, and I just drag this over here, roughly there, that will do. And now what I did is I sort of unwrapped the whole thing. What I mean with this is the following. Let me show you. Let me actually take this one. Right, so I take this one and I just rotate them to have all the way along here. So let me just rotate this by 90, and then I like you to move this down exactly there. Okay, and then you just select those ones and you really simply unwrap this. Alright, let's have a look what we got in 3D for now. So we got this at the moment, and as you can see, we have to obviously rotate the corner pieces too. Now you can see already, if you look at that, it makes a bit more sense that actually the waves I will add, that they connect better. Now they're still not perfect. You can see if I add my waves, they will be here because that's just the way you have to work in Archicad. It doesn't really work any other way. So the waves I'll do in a moment. If I do waves right up here, you will see if I then turn this back, there might be a slight offset, but I'll show you how to fix this anyway. But this is the best way really to start adding the waves, which we do in our section. To make it easier, I will actually select the corner pieces and let me give them another material. It's much easier for this tutorial to see what I'm doing next. Next step is I like to use a spline. Very simple. With the spline, I start, let me go back to my reference image. I start at the bottom of this. You see the bottom wave sort of touches every so often, it touches the ground. Over here it will touch the ground behind the cars. That's what I like to do first. So if I'm going to my A1, you have to just really start this spline, and you just got to make sure that you sort of, you know, do the wave, and every so often you will have to make sure that it does connect to the ground. Okay, so that's the first one here. What I like you to do is where it connects to the ground, it has to be quite even. It looks much nicer. So change the tool go to this one here and you just move it up. And obviously you can see your wave looks a bit funny, so just adjust them a little bit. You can see you can adjust them anything, any way you want the wave. So just, just do something that you like, that you think that looks great. Okay, so the next step now is you add some more of the splines. I just do a couple and then I show you the next step what to do. So let me just go here. So this is obviously something you then just go all the way, do the ones you want, just make it sort of random. You come up with a pattern, that's fine, whatever you want to do. And now make sure you have to go backwards now. Okay, that's important. So it has to be a wave that's connected. Maybe go there. Okay, so you can see that wave, it's all the way connected. Okay, like I said, at any time you can adjust this wave. Then you add also another one in the middle if you like. And so on. So you're doing all this, and let me move to a file I prepared earlier. Before I add the holes, I like you to make a copy of the shell because we need that after. So I take all the shells and we just drag a copy up for now. Okay, so now, okay, great. Let's start adding some holes to the shells. What we do is we just select the shells. You can select all of them. Okay, and now the way you do it is you just right click and you say create hole in shell, and make sure you push your space bar down and click on one of the splines. Okay, so this created the first one. Let me do, because it's still selected, let me do the ones that sort of hang over here. Okay, so that's what we have for now. In 3D, this looks like that. Great, back to my section. You saw probably that some of them are, I can't create another hole here because I've got a hole around here. So that doesn't work. I'll show you what we do next. But the other ones you see here, there are some splines still within an existing shell, which I can add my holes. So because this is still selected, I can keep going here with create hole in shell and just click on those ones here that I can't click. Okay, I've done all I can. You can see everywhere I could create a hole in the shell I've done, so I've got none left over. What we have now, what we have to do next is how do we sort of re-add the shell here to make it look good. I need a shell piece here, here, along here, cut holes again. That's why I made a copy. All right, let's go up here. What I do is to make it easier, because I have to take them. Actually, you know what? Let me, no, that's fine, that's fine. What I need to do is next, I drag copies down, right? Let me take this one here as example. So I drag a copy down, all the way, you can see right there. And because this is still selected, I can then define a shell contour. Okay, so for this time I have to define the shell contour. So I need to define this one here. So I space click on that one. So you see it created a new shell for me. And now, because this is still selected, I can just go back and say create a hole again for those pieces that are within that new shell. Okay, there's one more. Okay, see, so we fixed that. Now what you can do is, because sometimes it's a bit hard to see red on red, I give you a little tip. Take this and I created, I have not created in this one. Let me create this. So what I do is I have a shell layer there, And let me just add a new shell layer. So I copy, or I can just I don't need as example path. I don't need, let's just rename this and ghost. Oops. Ghost. I call it 3D shell ghost. Okay, so it'll be right next to the other shell layer. But with this 3D shell ghost, I actually make this a wireframe. Make sure you update this in your layer combination. Now this is still selected and I move this onto the shell ghost. There you go. So now if I go back down, make a copy, let's just drag a copy, drag this right down here. Now it's a lot easier to see where I've got missing pieces. I can clearly see, yes, I have a missing piece here. I got a missing piece here, here. So I can now right click and define shell contour. And what you do is from here, you just move it on to the shell. Okay, so that's, just to be clearer, it's easier to work with. So if you copy another one down, copy down here, you know, if I go up here now as example, I can clearly see the next shell I need to create is along this one. So again, you define shell contour, space click, and while it's still selected, might as well add the hole in here. There you go, and you just move it onto the normal shell layer. Okay, this is how it looks when you finished with all your shell holes and new shell you needed to create. Now I told you at the very start, the problem is some of them won't fit perfectly if I rotate them back. The other bit is, as you can see now, I made sort of a shell here and around here, and I have nothing here. So let me have a look which one is that one. I'll show you quickly. Rotate them back, so that's one to the third one. Let me just show you. So this is the third one, 1, 2, 3, the third one. If I take this, yeah, gotta make sure to do the right one. That's the one. So we rotate this back and then we have a look in 3D. So let me go from here to here. See, this is, you gotta be careful. That's a hole of the shell. So it's probably best you just go like this. And it looks a bit funny, have a look. That's sort of the splines I use to cut the hole. So just ignore that. All right, so I rotate that back. Yeah, it makes a bit more sense to me now. And we go all the way here. And let me now select them. I probably have another one there, but I think it probably will do. Yeah, I had this hole not selected and rotated, so that's cool. For this exercise, that's okay. You can see now what happens. This just doesn't look as nice because, you know, the cutting hole is not really finished. Okay, so let me go back. And if I go here, in this case, you could have at the start, be careful obviously, and draw your spline all the way in here. But let's just say you haven't, just like me, you know, I've been doing my splines and didn't really see that. So the way to fix this is take again the spline, and actually I want to make a line here, and the line is straight. Okay, same here, and let's make it straight, and let's give that also a bluish color, just easier to see what I'm doing. Now you do the next spline, and what you need to do is now to sort of get a bit of a curve going. Okay, that sort of fits the other one. Let me just do this for now. I'll show you. So that's there. This one, try to move that one right to there. Okay, and then obviously you can see this curve comes up here, sort of goes down here. That's probably not too bad, this one actually. Let me move this a bit down. If you can't, move the other one up. Yeah, you know, you try to continue this, just imagine continue from, you know, come up here, you continue. So that's probably not too bad. All right, so in this case, it's much more difficult. I mean, I could draw this up here and try to connect it, but what you can do is in this case, I can, because I cut the hole with this spline, I can actually move it. So I have to try and get this right. See, this is probably, if it doesn't work, then it was the spline that actually cut this red one at the moment. You just do it again. Say, oh, now that's better. There you go. And what you can do is that, because see, I can move this, right? Move this there, because that's like the hole. It keeps cutting it. So now you can say, oh, I go a lot more over here. Okay, and you can even change the curve. You know, just maybe go a bit more that way. Right, so you can try to adjust this curve. Let me go down here with this one, maybe to there. And we, you know, make this look good. So now in this case, yeah, you can see I didn't need this line here. That line was good because I really wanted to have this straight, this polygon has to match this one. But in this case, I didn't need the line. So the next bit is now obviously you just drag those down and you just try to, you know, get close. Like this. Actually, you see, that was my mistake. There's always little things even I learn or remember, because if I now rotate this back, this will rotate exactly there. So I do need that line. Let's move it down here. There. So this one has to connect there. I know it looks a bit funny here, but it will. If you rotate this back by 45 degrees, this will stay the same and it will connect exactly in there. So let me move this one then down a bit. So I think the curve that will occur here go down and it will nicely go into this one. Now the next step, obviously that's straightforward. You again need to create a hole. You click on this one and you get another hole. So if we now, let me now to show you, move them again. Have a look in 3D. There you go. I did it very quickly, you know, you can do it nicer, make this a bit more bulgy just to really fit it up. But you can see that's the way then you fix the hole, even if you go further along. Okay, so if that happens that you by accident did think of that, and you know this one did not continue, should have continued maybe around here, that's the way you can fix it. Great, let me go to the next step, undo this one, and we got this. So let's just say you're happy with all this. This step is, instead of unwrapping everything, we have to put it all back now. So this one I don't need anymore. You can turn, actually I can just turn the layer off. Let me do that. Let's go back to our 2D and I turn this layer off for now, and we got shell ghost. There we go. Okay, great. So what you have to do is now just make sure you select just the pieces and you group them. Okay, I know you have a little bit of extra there. Let me have a look in 3D. It's still all good. That's just from the spline. Some of the spline went further than just this piece of the shell. Great, so you got that, and just all of them, really make sure you only really select what you need and you group them. Okay, now we can start just putting them back, and make sure you have the group not suspended in. We could just start simply here. Make sure you zoom in. Make sure you be exactly on 45, so it will fit perfectly together again. Okay, I turned it all back around, and the best thing is to have it check now in 3D and see how it looks. See, that's the one we just did before, added an extra hole. And over here, there you go, there's another one. I should have gone, you know, right in here, but that's okay, you know how to do this now. There's others that are not exactly right because it's almost impossible to fit that corner exactly, because we obviously have to rotate it. So to fix this, it's very similar. So what we do is you will try to select just, actually no, I gotta be careful here. I'm still grouped. So suspend groups, do that again. Okay. And the good thing is, just to also make it easier, select only those pieces, hit F5, and it's just faster to go around. Okay, cool. I should have selected that one too, but for now, what you do is, see, to adjust this, you could move this or you could move that one. Let me select this one. And as the last time, you have to be careful, make sure we got the right one. Let me have a quick look here. Which one is that one? Yeah, that's that one definitely. But maybe it's better if I select the other one. Let's have a quick look. It's probably a little bit easier. So here you just start moving it up. Right, I wanted to move it up. I don't know why it went down. There we go. See, it's getting pretty close. If you go far away, you'll never see that. Okay, so that's the way you have to fix it. And the other way is, let's just say you really struggle. Let me do this again. You struggle to really fit that one in. You could always take one of those, right? You just select it. Let me just select this one here. Come on, we want this one here. As you can see, this is much harder. Let me select this one too, F5. So they might be harder to fit together. See, because it's quite, you have to pick this one or this one, but let me try it quickly. Because you don't really know where to go. It's quite hard actually. And you go this way. You could come it this way in. Let's have a quick look. You can see already how difficult it is. There you go. So what I recommend is, if you sort of at the end of, you're almost done and you have this one that just doesn't fit. So what I recommend is, select this one and just convert it to a morph. If you want to make a copy of the whole thing, make a copy, put it on a different layers, you can adjust it later. If you wanted to, keep the shell, but convert selection to morph, say okay. And now, because this is a morph element, it is much easier to obviously move this around. So I can just take this here, move it down there. Okay, again, this is just sort of little tidbits for you, how to fix maybe something that does not exactly, you know, fit together when you rotate them back. But I think this is, you get the picture how to do this. Okay, and I just moved everything back into place, and in 3D, that's the way it looks like. Okay, so I think this this concludes this tutorial, and I'm sure you learned something and you know how to do your own fancy shell aluminium cover. Hope to see you back next time. Bye for now.